Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I am bringing you guys the Week 1 TBU battle versus Sizz and the Orsomerset Szizors. Of course, I have taken over the LA Galuxray, and Gabriel and Sizz were unable to work out the Week 1 match, and once Gabriel handed the team off to me, it was my responsibility to make up the game. So this is the game that should have been played Week 1, but we get the experience of having this battle. And, yeah, so this was our pleasure to battle Sizz, which was good fun. I had a much more open schedule than Gabe did, so scheduling a match was a lot easier. And, yeah, so this battle was able to happen. Team that I have brought, I did explain everything in more detail in the team builder, which was uploaded probably earlier today. I'm going to try and get this out on the same day. And if not, I'll try and leave a link to it in the description. I know I usually forget those things, but, you know, we'll see. The team I basically brought was like an Assault Vest, Electros, Standard Mega Beedrill, Scarf, Kieran Black, Offensive, Colberry Mew, Defensive Gramble, and Life Orb Dragalge with lots of speed. Now, the team that Sizz brought. He brought a Greninja, a Licky, Garchomp, Mega Gallade, Skuntank, and Registeel. So, right off the bat, Dragalge is looking not as important. There's no Clefable. He was too scared to bring Clefable because of all the ways I have to do a lot of damage to it. He also didn't bring Slowking, so basically the two big moves that I have to hit his slow walls with Dragalge, they're just not a factor anymore. So, that is that, and this is this battle. So I didn't really know what he was going to lead off with. I figured that Registeel was kind of the most likely lead, and as a result, I'm going to lead off with Electros because I figure Flamethrower is probably the best coverage I have to hit Registeel with, and he can't do a whole lot of damage to me. So let's go ahead and just get into this battle before I say anything more that might end up spoiling this battle. I'm doing this commentary right after the battle has happened. The battle literally just happened, and I'm just doing this commentary while everything is fresh in my mind. So, Electros, Flamethrower, it goes off. Cool. I don't have any Rapid Spin, so I was like, he's probably going to get his rocks up. That also does literally nothing. That's specially defensive Registeel, because I am max special attack modest Electros, and I was just like, crap. I was like, if he's going to take that much damage, this Registeel is going to be a pain to get rid of. Also, I did notice that if Registeel goes down, then Kieran Black kind of runs to his team, so that's a fun thing. And he just goes for an Iron Head, and I Volt Switch. I actually kind of risked the speed tie there. I knew it was a speed tie. I went first the first turn, but we're both speed 50 with no speed investment. I was hoping that I got to go second, and I did, so I got kind of lucky on that. I calced it. Dragalge can do the most damage to this thing with a Focus Blast. I just need to hit it. So I decided to go in because it does the most damage out of everything. The other moves on other team members that I have to hit Registeel didn't do much. So, yeah. I have Focus Blast Dragalge. It goes off, it hits, and it almost takes out Registeel. He stays in, takes a lot of damage, and goes for an Earthquake, and actually gets off a lot of damage on my Dragalge. So, that's the thing that happens, which is fine. I just really wanted to get rid of this Registeel. That was, like, the main priority. That's what I wanted, and I didn't care what I had to do. Calced it. Draco Meteor can kill. He didn't have a switch into Draco Meteor because no Clefable. Nothing wanted to take a Draco Meteor, so he just lets this thing die to Draco Meteor, and that is Registeel gone. So, 4 turns into the game, and the only thing that can resist a Dragon-type move from Kieran Black is gone. So, all I need to do is just get a little bit of chip damage on some things that I can't OHKO, or things that it's a roll to OHKO, and then this game is mine. Perfect. So, I'm going to go ahead and switch into Electros again, because this is Assault Vest and can take on any sort of standard Greninja, and he goes for Extra Sensory, and it does, like, not that much damage. So I'm like, cool, that's a good thing. I mean, it did a little bit, but, you know, for Greninja, that's pretty fair. I assumed he was going to switch out, probably into Garchomp, and I was just like, I'm going to go for the Acid Spray, because he doesn't have a Registeel to switch in now, so obviously I can hit everything with it. After doing a calc, I was just like, I don't think he can take me out. It's like a roll that he could take me out, depending on what his item and stuff was. But I figured I would scout what this was. But he actually switches out as I go for the Giga Drain. So even though he doesn't stay in, I do get some health back, which puts me at a range that I can definitely live another hit from, or I could live a hit from Garchomp if it was like Scarf or something, as well as I could deal with the things, the Greninja. I go ahead and switch into Gramble. This is my switch into things like Garchomp and Mega Gallade. And he makes a really, really good play here. Sizz Mega's up here. and he goes for the one move that I didn't really expect him to go for, but the move that is his best move to go for, which is Knockoff. Knocks off my leftovers, which sucks because it's the only way that Gramble can recover, and that means that I can't be taking like a billion more hits. I noticed that Sizz does not have a switch in really to a play rough that I could see, so I went for it. And it turns out I was wrong. He does kind of have a switch in because this Skuntank didn't take that much. This is a physically defensive Skuntank, I do end up realizing. Earthquake is not going to take this thing out, so I was just like, you know what, I don't want to take a poison move, so let's just go ahead into Dragalge and see what his plan to take out Gramble is. Well, his plan is to Toxic it, so that's the thing that happened. I figured I didn't really want to switch into Skuntank because I don't really know what it does, but I really could have here. I really could have switched into Skuntank. I could have switched in so many things, and I would have been perfectly fine. Yeah, so, but either way, I don't. And I just let Dragalge go down, figuring Dragalge isn't going to really help me out for the remainder of the match, something that kind of comes back to bite me, and I'll explain that a little bit later. I go ahead back into Gramble to get the Intimidate off, which means that Sucker Punch will do less damage, which means if I'm able to, I can switch into Gramble, I'm sorry, not Gramble, I can switch into Mega Beedrill, and I can, because if Mega Beedrill can't take a Sucker Punch after switching into Rocks, but after an Intimidate, it can come in. So I was like, if I can get a clean switch in, that'd be great. So honestly, I could have switched into Beedrill right there, but I didn't. So that's, it really sucked. It would have been a great way for me to come into Beedrill, but it doesn't matter. I decided to go for Dragon Claw. I was like, I need to get damage on this. This is the turn that I confirmed that he is physically defensive. He goes for Fire Blast. Fire Blast and Toxic damage is kind of racking up. I didn't mind being Toxic, but I wanted to make sure that I stayed over 25%. That way I don't die to a Rock switch-in. Because of that, I would have gone for more damage if I wasn't Toxic, but I knew that after another hit and Toxic, I would be below 25%, if not dead, so I switched out. And I went into Electros, because I just need to keep trying to get chip damage on Skuntank, because there's one thing about it, is that it does not have self-recovery, so it can't really recover. It only has that Black Sludge. And he goes into Licky Joe. This Licky is going to prove to be pretty troublesome, and I kind of start finding that out right about now. It's just like, oh, okay, Acid Spray is not too bad, you know, I can start getting off some damage, and things like that. He does damage to me, and I believe this turn I go for a Giga Drain, as he switches into Garchomp. Now at -2, special defense, I could do like 50% to Garchomp, you know, with the Giga Drain, but without it, you know, I do that much, which gives me some health back, but not really enough to live another hit from basically anything. So again, I basically decided to stay in. Didn't really want to switch in Gramble here, and if I would have switched in Gramble, I would have had a dead Gramble because of that. But I switch in Gramble now because I know I can take one Poison Jab. I just can't take two. I get the Intimidate off, and again, he doesn't have a switch into a Play Rough. So I'm going to go ahead for the Play Rough. Or I'd say because the Skuntank, I think, is that lower. No, sorry, too early. He does still have a switch into a Play Rough. I'm a little bit early, and I miss. It didn't really matter that much. I guess it did, because then I could have went for an Earthquake, and I would have taken this thing out. So, but I predict him now to go for the Toxic. I guess that miss does kind of matter. I could have taken out the Skuntank, whatever. And I go for a Heal Bell. This also lets me get rid of the Toxic when Kieran Black. And I don't take any Toxic damage this turn. So now I go for, I think I go for an Earthquake this turn, because it does do more to Skuntank. And you will see, we get a little bit of luck on our side, but this is luck that doesn't matter at all. Is we get the Earthquake, it goes off, and it's a critical hit, but it doesn't take him out. If it was a crit and it took him out, then it would have mattered. But the fact of the matter is, it didn't really, because Earthquake, even if it didn't get a crit, I could take him out with another Earthquake. And because this turn right here, he actually switches out, so literally doesn't matter what happened. As long as the Skuntank didn't die, that crit doesn't matter. He goes back into Licky, which really sucks. You can see that he's getting full Wi-Fi still, so that's good for him. And we're just going to get Play Roughs off. Right now, I'm basically frantically calculating through my whole team, and I'm realizing that I don't have things to do damage to this. I don't know what the heck Licky is made out of, but it is made out of stuff that just does not die. So I decided to stay in with Gramble, knowing full well that Garchomp and Mega Gallade are still alive, and I decided to sack off Gramble to Licky. I was hoping I could live another thing of toxic damage, but I don't, and I actually go down to Toxic here. So right now I'm looking. I cannot kill this thing. This is a physically defensive Licky from what I can tell. So I was just like, I just need to get a lot of damage off. And so I decided to do that by going into Mega Beedrill and deciding to go for a U-turn. Poison Jab would not kill, and I wanted to be able to bring Mega Beedrill back in again because it can still do some damage to a lot of things on his team. So that does a decent chunklet, and I'm just like, okay, that's not bad. Well, let's go into something that hopefully can do damage. And here, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant, because I'm just going to say this right off the bat. Hi, present day Slyroh talking over past Slyroh, because at this point in time I go on a rant about how much I don't like Mew, which was a bit unjustified. Basically, my problem with Mew is that it couldn't take out this Licky, because I basically gave it bad coverage moves. So I basically went on a rant saying that I think Mew is bad, which I'm still not the biggest fan of Mew, but the reason that it was bad is because I didn't put proper coverage moves on. I keep putting the wrong coverage moves, and Pokemon that I don't think are going to switch in and wall me keep continuing to wall me, but that's more my fault than Mew's fault, and I felt like going on a rant about how Mew is bad was a bit unjustified, so therefore I'm overdubbing that part of the battle with this right here. Now, back to the match. So, in the cow, Gunk Shot actually does the most, and I come really close to taking out the Licky. That's like 1 HP. I don't know if that was a roll or not. I don't think it was. The max roll was like 18 to 20% is how much Gunk Shot should do, and it looked like he had slightly more, so I didn't think it was going to kill when I went for the move, but I mean, that could be hacks that matter too. I have no idea. Honestly, I'm just really frustrated with Mew at this point. I think Mew is complete and utter garbage. Defensive Mew is good because it can take hits, but I mean, just Mew doesn't do damage. It doesn't do enough damage to anything. It wasn't able to do damage to Donphan. It can't do damage to Licky. During the calcs, I found out it couldn't do damage to Registeel. It couldn't damage the Skuntank. Like, I even had a super effective move against Skuntank, and it just can't like, it can't kill it. It did like maybe half or something. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I was just like, screw this. Go ahead into Beedrill. Try and do whatever. I hope I live Body Slam, but I don't. Long story short here, Licky stalls me out. I'm not even gonna like BS you guys right now. This Licky just doesn't die to anything, and I'm not able to take it out. A lot of that is my team preparation. A lot of that is if I had Focus Blast, if I still had Dragalge around, I could Focus Blast the thing and it would actually do a good ton of damage. It would do a lot of damage, and that would be a way that I could deal with it. And because of speed investment on Dragalge, I would outspeed this thing. But just with the prior damage, with the fact that this thing doesn't die, and with the fact that Mew is complete and utter garbage, I can't. I really just can't deal with this match, and I really can't deal with Licky. And so at this point, I could stall him out to the end of time because I have Roost on Mew, and he can't Toxic me with anything because I'm already paralyzed. But I just decided to I'm honestly, at this point, I'm not even watching the game screen anymore. I'm off on Skype, Twitter, I'm just doing whatever because I already knew the game's over, and I'm just pressing random moves here. I don't even know what moves I go for because it doesn't matter, because none of them kill Licky. So I'm just kind of hitting moves while he's doing what he has to do to take me out. You know, I didn't even know he went for Heal Bell. He has Heal Bell on this thing? That's how much I wasn't paying attention to the screen. So, yeah, he didn't have Protect. He didn't have Wish Protect from what I could tell. He just had Wish, which it's whatever, you know. I don't know. I just wish that Licky wasn't as fat. I brought Emboar. I have an Emboar on my team, and I didn't bring it because yeah. And I'm obviously very frustrated with myself. This has nothing to do with Sizz. Sizz played this game really well, actually. I thought that letting Registeel go down would have been a bad move, but he played around it really well because he still had, you know, Licky, which Dragon Claw did less than half to. Skuntank would have taken a couple hits. I think it was even a roll to kill Mega Gallade with an Outrage, so he still had ways to like not let Kieran Black completely destroy him, which is good for him. So he played really well. I want to say that I did play well. I just didn't have the team that could take it out. I mean, you know, I don't know. There's obviously different decisions that I could have made that probably could have affected the outcome of this match a little bit differently. and have gotten more chip damage off, things like that. But I feel like most of the plays I made, I did, and they made sense. And then at the end, it's just I just didn't have anything to kill Licky. So basically, the moral of the story is, guys, calc for everything. When you're building a team, calc for everything. Even the things you don't think are going to be a threat, even the things that you think that somebody drafted just for stupid, like just to be funny, and you don't think that they can do anything, calc for them. Because honestly, if you don't, things like this happen. I saw so many threats on Szizors' team. I saw Clefable, I saw Garchomp, I saw Slowking. I was just like, how do I deal with these things? I saw Greninja, I saw Mega Galliot. I was like, how do I take hits from these things? And I just skipped over Licky. Didn't really give it much thought. I was just like, oh, it's not that powerful. And I mean, I have a Kieran Black. I mean, if I can bring that and do damage to like a Slowking, I'm sure Licky can't stand up to it. But obviously it can. So, and when I was calculating during the match is when I kind of started to be frantic. I was just like, oh crap, nothing I have can 2-hit KO this thing. I need to do my best. And if he had Wish Protect, honestly, I think he would have been able to win even easier. But you know, he had the moves that he had because he needed to have them, and there's really nothing I can say about this game. This has actually been the worst loss that I've ever had in League history for me. I think the worst loss I ever had was a 4-0 loss, and that was my very first League battle ever in Season 1 of the PPL. And I lost 5-0, and so this is easily the worst loss that I've had, and it's my fault for bringing the wrong team, but like nothing in the battle. Like I think I played well. Szizors obviously played well, and it really sucks. And I know that I will never ever be able to live this down. But yeah. So obviously everything is a learning experience. Things happen for a reason, and I'm going to take this and apply it to future matches, future team building, and make sure that I just give it 200% the next outing. So that's what I take away from this game. Hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes also, and use that to apply to any of your own leagues and things like that. And that is basically that. If I missed anything, feel free to comment below anything that you want to tell me, ask me, whatever. And of course, I always get back to you and all that good stuff. But I'm going to head out of here. I will see you on the next battle. We still have 2 more TBU battles where we can still kind of redeem ourselves, and hopefully we're gonna do that. So that's what the goal is. That's what we're gonna try and do, and we're gonna see how well that goes over. So thanks for watching, guys. Until the next video, stay sly.